And welcome to the Digital Transformation and Construction webinar. Today we are going to talk about how IPM fixes the problem of financial visibility at source, noting that today is not about it's not a software pitch. It's about clarity, visibility, and confidence, and how to move from numbers we tolerate into numbers we trust. And we can go and fixing the finance problem at source, which is inside the project processes. So thank you very much for joining, and let's start. Many construction businesses technically have lots and lots of data, especially in the finance part, but they can't trust it. All of the finance report feels slow, risky, and disconnected from what's actually happening on site. This is business as usual for many construction businesses, but it's not normal, and this is fixable. That is the point of the webinar we are going to present today. And we are all now in 2026, and 2026 brings some pressure. It's bringing shrinking margins, compliance obligations, APA complexity, cash flow visibility needs, and all leaders, I can say that all leaders does not want prettier dashboards. What they want is confidence. And this session shows how businesses like yours achieve confidence in numbers for all of the leaders. We will start talking about why finance data becomes untrustworthy, and then we will look at the real businesses who can fix that, and then we will show how IPM changes this exact game, and then we will have a quick practical guide to what's good finances looks like, and then finally the next steps if you want clarity without any kind of pressure. So let's go. So let's talk about the core problem. The core problems lie that.
No, I think you need to share your screen, mate.
That's. Can you see my screen?
No, just you.
Oh, I'm sorry about this. Let me just then share my screen. Okay, so let me just.
Perfect.
Okay, so let me just go back to some slides, some way back. Okay, so we talk about the introduction and agenda, and because of that, let's talk about the core problem. Now, the core problem is that it's not a finance team problem. It's a system/processes discipline problem. It's about delayed reporting, manual reconciliation, inconsistent processes, and all of this creates distortion and doubt. And most of the leaders hesitate in taking decisions, not because they are hesitant, but because they don't believe in what the system is telling them. And all of it can be fixed. All of it currently is a business as usual, and all of it can be fixed, basically. So this is what we are talking about today. The idea here is that all of the challenges we face is the lack of governance and control, which we have too many processes and no single source of truth. We have a slow reporting and cash flow bottlenecks. We have data risks such as the double or triple handling and the information being lost, and then there comes the month-end processes dragged out for up to 10 days. What we want to emphasize in here is the month-end time reduction, efficiency plus confident lift, and the teams not living in spreadsheets anymore. And the results would be the month-end reduction from 10 days to just one. And then we have a visibility over the cash flow when we call notice processing and sped up from days to minutes. And then all of the manual process will be eliminated, such as the AP automation tightened and the overall data integrity strengthened, and the visibility of workload and project performance to leaders and managers in real time. This is what it looks like in the real life. Now, let's talk about why do we have all of those finance problems? The finance problems does not start in finance. They start upstream. They start in projects. If your job costing discipline is not right, and if the purchasing is not controlled, and if the variations are not tracked in a structured environment, finance team will struggle in coping up with all of this. And this makes this makes the finance team always playing catch up and always drowning in all of those spreadsheets in order to make sense in all of that. And the truth is that most finance problem does not start in finance. So let's talk about the cost of chaos. What happens in day to day? What we need? We have a case study of Alum Property Group, and we have assisted Alum Property Group in enhancing project planning, streamline operation, creating a unified database, and improve cost estimation, ensuring sustained business success. The challenges there, what we need a centralized RFQ management with accurate and secure data handling. We needed to eliminate the double handling and improving data confidence and accuracy. And we need to streamline the processes to enhance operational efficiency and reduce the overall error happening. What we did there is we reduced the risk, and we improved the reporting disciplines, and we actually delivered the real business value of controlled RFQ system that enhances data accuracy. We eliminated most of the double handling, and we improved the workflow and productivity, so the projects can be delivered on time and within budget. Another case study we have is Ipswich machining. And before Ipswich machining implemented IPM, they used to have manual processes, paper-based timesheets, and lots of spreadsheets and a disconnected software system. The payroll staff has had to re-enter the timesheet data, maintenance schedule were managed via spreadsheets, and there was limited visibility into the job and the equipment cost. Again, what we did is we reduced the risk, we improved the reporting discipline, and we actually make a real business value delivered. Now, let's see how IPM actually fixes all of this. First, we do that by standardizing the project data and the workflows. IPM standardizes procurement, claims, cost capture, change management, And when I say standardization, this means discipline. They make all the team disciplined in following the process and entering the right data at the right time. And when there is when there is discipline, then there is a trustworthy data. And when we have a trustworthy data, then we have leadership confidence in taking the right decision at the right time. This is basically what we can do, babe. And the real outcome of this is faster reporting. We have a better team alignment. We have cleaner data, and then at the end we have a stronger trust. This is what we these are the tangible benefits and the role of planning. Now, let's jump in and have a look about how all of these working basically. So let's now we will show you a demo of the IPM. We will show how you can achieve a clear job cost control and how you can achieve a trustworthy data through standardized processes and discipline from the team. Now, and thank you and have a lovely day today. Thank you. Dan, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're just going to have a look at IPM. Just let me share my screen. Make sure everyone can see it. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
My name's Dane. I'm a consultant at Thrive. I mainly work on customizing IPM to suit businesses' needs. One thing you'll notice in here is IPM is extremely customizable. It's a construction management solution. It's browser-based, so it runs in your web browser. You can access it from anywhere. It's also available on the Power Apps mobile app, so you can use it on your phone as well or in the field. It's broken into 5 main functional areas. So down the bottom here in the menu, you've got contract control, document control, HSC, resource maintenance, and equipment maintenance. They're your 5 main areas. And then we're going to talk about the Microsoft interface. So it's IPM is based around it runs on Microsoft Dynamics. So like I said, it can integrate with Power Automate, it can integrate with Excel. It does loads of things all natively without any extra configurations or special software to create the integration. Down the left here is the menu. So you can see I've selected contract control here, and you've got all your related contract control items. If I change that to document control, you can see I've got all my document control items there. You got the home button here. So the home button will just take you to, at the moment, set to dashboards. So it'll take you to the dashboards. You can see the most recent top 10 items, and you can also pin some records that you want to monitor or keep close eye on. So we'll have a look at most of the time when you're in IPM, you'll be navigating by jobs. So in here, this is the list of jobs, and everything basically stems from a job. So you'll create a job, then off the job, you'll create your purchase orders, your variations, your subcontracts, and all of that. Up the top here, so this is a view that says active IPM jobs. We can drop down on that, and we can see a bunch of different views that we can look at. We can have a look at just the overhead jobs if we like, or the inventory locations. We've also got the ability to move around the columns. So you can just simply drag and drop the columns where you like. And then you'll see a little star appears here, and you can actually go and save that as one of your personal views if you like that view. There's also custom filters. So up top right here, we can click on this, and it will bring up a custom filter, and you can set like add rows and set special conditions that you want to add to that view. So this is called a view. And up the top here, we've got buttons. So you'll see this on every section of IPM. Main ones you use, obviously, are the new button. You can also add charts and run reports from here as well. So one that we're going to look at today, I've just got it saved here, so I'll just jump into it from here. So we're inside the job now, and we're going to look at this gateway widening. If we just move down the page a bit, we've got this bar here. So this is called the business process flow. And what this is used to do is to drive employees to follow the process of that specific record. So for example, in this one, in the job, you've got tender, project startup, in progress, and then you go into a maintenance period. At each one of these points, you can trigger workflows or processes which goes and does things in the background. Like you might want to create another record at a certain point or send an email at a certain point. We can do all of that stuff depending on your business needs. Moving down the page further, you've got these tabs here. So these are like tabs within the filing cabinet for this job. So I've got the general tab, just gives you a general overview of the job, start dates, end dates, bit of budget information there, high level budget information. Moving across the page, we've got the job progress tab. We'll come back to this. So this is what we're talking about today with the financial data being accurate. And then original budget. So you can establish a budget at the start of your project and then monitor it at a high level here. Purchase orders. So you can create a new purchase order from here just by clicking the add new purchase order button. I'll just open one up and we'll have a look. So now we're in the purchase order. You can see up here where the purchase order is. Once again, we've got a business process flow that can drive the approval process. So if at this point if it was in the entered stage and you wanted to send it to a certain person for approval, we can do that as part of routing, and it will end up in the balling court. I'll show you the balling court in a little while. We'll come back to that. So general tab, that's basically the header of the purchase order, and then the items tab. So this is obviously the items of the purchase order, and you enter your quantity, unit of measure, and your rate along here. Once you've got all your information, you push it forward and approve it. There's a bunch of other tabs here. I'm not going to go into them in great detail today, but one good feature of purchase orders is that you can actually create the document directly from here, and you can also send the email for the purchase order directly from here as well. So I'll just go back to the job now. So moving back, you can see here I'm back in the job. And I'll move across to subcontracts. So same deal, purchase orders and subcontracts are essentially the same thing. Subcontracts will obviously have a contract that goes with it to that vendor. So this is where you would manage them. So similar thing, they both create a commitment. So purchase order and subcontract will both create a commitment against the job. Once again, you've got your general information, bit of high level information about the value of the subcontract there. And then once again, in the items, you can list out the items of the subcontract, might be bill of materials or something like that. Up the top here, we've got the BPF again, same deal as the purchase order. We can customize this to go through a special approval process, however it suits your business. Going back to the job now. So I'm back in the job. Moving across, we've got variations. So I'll just go into one of these. So this has been a change to the drainage. We can enter some scoping details on this side. And then looking here, we've got here our changes that we're applying. And what we can do is just put the cost price in, what it's going to cost us as a company, and also then add an overhead, which in this case is 10%, plus a profit, and then that will be the total of the variation. So you don't have to worry about calculating your markups at a line level. We can do all that at the end. Up the top here, same deal. we can move it through different stages. So it's got a potential variation, gets submitted for approval, and then it gets approved. I'll go back to the job again. I'm back in the job. Progress billing. So these are your bills out to your customers. And yeah, we'll have a look at one. So this is the header of the progress bill that we're looking at now in details. So you'll notice that the layout of the screens is all very similar. You've got general and then you've got the items. General and you've got the items in all of the screens, which makes it nice and easy for your employees to navigate. So here we've got the list of contract items, and then we can enter the work completed here, and it will bill the customer the amount of work that's completed during that billing period. Back to the job. We've done subcontracts. You can do material requisitions. So if a job requires materials out of a storeroom, for example, we can do that. Drawings. So this is a drawings register. So we have a look in here. We can see the list of drawings that are available for this job. Project documents. This might be things like toolbox talks or ITPs that get stored in here. Project directory is it's a list of contacts purely for this job. So all the contacts for 18108 would live in here. And then we're going to have a look at tasks and cost centers. So today, when I talk about cost centers or tasks or job tasks, you can think of them as the same thing in IPM. So cost centers are job tasks. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink. So these are a list of the job tasks or the cost codes, and these will be used to cost work on the job against. You can make them available in different areas as well. So you can see here that it's a labour or equipment might be available only on timesheets. So this cost code here is available on a labour timesheet. If it's a material, it might be available on the purchase order. So you can make each cost code specific to where it's used. Okay, and then the last one I want to show you is the contract items. So contract items are your billable items. So these will appear on your progress bill, and then you bill against them. Okay, we'll move back to the job progress now. So the job progress screen gives a snapshot of the financials at a certain point in time. All we have up here is the job progress update date. So this is the cutoff date for all of those records. So all of these records that I just showed you up the top here get stored in as a job transaction, and then the cutoff date basically filters out all the transactions up to and including this date. So looking down here, we've got the original budget, which comes from the original budget tab. We can just look at this line here, this site manager line. So this comes from the original budget tab on the job task 101. Then there's a revised budget. So there was obviously a variation there. So it looks like there's been a change request come in. We'll probably be able to see that. So if you click the little drop down arrow here, you can see these are all the forecast lines or the budget lines that were originally applied to the job. And then down the bottom here, you've got a variation. So you can see the variation has come through, and then there's also a budget transfer that came out of that. So you can see that as the difference there. Revised commitments, so that's your subcontracts and your POs with any variations. Invoice commitments, net commitments, and then the job to date cost. Over here, we've got the forecast to complete. Now, there's two different ways to forecast a line. You can either do a simple forecast, say this one here is going to be 200,000, Right, and then we can change this from detailed forecast. So this is over here is your forecast method. You can change it from detailed forecast to lump sum forecast, and then it's nice and simple. You can say the forecast amount is 200,000, and then the forecast to complete will all calculate from there. The next thing is, so I'm just going to remove that out. The next thing is this next column. So detailed forecast to complete. Now this isn't available in a lot of software. But it allows the user to break down their forecast into a more granular form and provide more detail on how they came to that figure rather than running a separate spreadsheet or taking a guess. So in this case, you can see like the labour for the project engineer has gone up. They're expecting it to go for 80 days instead of 60. The units can be whatever you like. And you can also change the forecast rate at this point as well. In addition to this, you can see it's got the variation of the budget transfer there, so you can manipulate them, and you can also add your own line in here as just a simple forecast line if you wanted to add a custom forecast into that. And what happens then is all of the values in this get rolled up and they appear in here as a detailed forecast. So you can either enter your lump sum here, or you can enter the detailed forecast here with multiple lines. So that is the job progress. And I'll just have a quick look at dashboards. So dashboards also provide good visibility on multiple records. So you can see here, this is the ball in court. So this allows when you route a document for approval, for example, you can say, okay, this is my outstanding items that need approval, but it's also waiting with someone else for approval, and you can see who it's waiting with. So this is just your personal view of who has your documents. Looking down here, we can have a look at invoice processing. So that's another good example. You can see here there's unprocessed scanned invoices. And then unapproved purchase orders and unapproved subcontract invoices. So you can see in a single screen exactly what's coming in. Back on jobs, I think that's pretty much it for this demo. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a good day.
Thanks, Mo. Thank you.